Okay, so what we have is a 1x8, and then it's tar paper layered, I think, hopefully, directly, just continuously. So I think that means that what I can do is just get this board out, get this fascia board out. Some of it's still intact, some of it's rotted. They put an extra piece of trim here, and then they put this flashing on top. But I think that what that means is that water's running up, over, along the line of the tar paper, and then directly under the flashing to sit right here on top of this trim piece. And that's why this trim piece is fucked. And then that water sitting alongside the fascia board means that the fascia is rotted out in a lot of places right where those are connected. Yep. So new plan, well, plan for a new system is to replace this fascia board, but to run flashing under the tar paper, under the edge of the tar paper. So I'll probably end up cutting this tar paper right at the edge, run flashing, slide flashing underneath the tar paper so that it runs down into the gutter. So fascia board, gutter, flashing runs the water down into the gutter, gutter goes down to downspout. That's the basic idea. So I think that means that instead of an 8, I think I want to drop, I want to go down to, what do I want to go down to, 6? I go down to a 6. So it's just like an inch basically. We don't want it to come above the roof line, so we want it to actually go below the roof line. So I could maintain the same profile if I went down to 7, or I could do 6 inches. And yeah, I think the only other question about that is if I can get enough slant on the gutter, because this is a 50-foot run. This side is 50 feet, the other side is probably 40 feet, roughly speaking. So can I get enough slant at 50 feet across a total of, well, I wouldn't even want to go 6 inches because I have to have the flashing come down to meet the gutter. So I can only really drop a couple inches unless I do something else creative. So because of that, I think I could use a 6-inch, a 1x6, because I wouldn't want to be dropping that gutter that much anyway. If the gutter drops a total of a couple of inches over 50 feet, then down at this back of the house would be its lowest point. And so you'd really only need the height of the gutter plus the flashing. So yeah, either a 1x6 or I could go to a 1x8. It doesn't really matter if it hangs a little lower. I mean, the rafter tails right now, so that's another point. The rafter tails come right down to the edge of the fascia board. And if I go too short on the fascia, then the rafter tail will hang off the bottom, which will look weird. So I don't want that. So I could just go 1x8s and shift it down an inch, and that would be safe. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay, so good news is, alright, so I pried away a bit of the fascia, lifted up the tar paper, and so what seems to be happening is this is the roof surface, or this is the roof layers right here, and then tar paper on top. And you can see there's just a little bit of lift and a bunch of layers of paper. But the good news is it's going to be easy actually to slide a piece of flashing underneath that. I don't think that's going to be a problem at all. And that means that the tar paper can just come right over the edge of the flashing with no problem. I mean, the fact that there's gravel means that I'm going to have some kind of a screen or another barrier to kind of catch that. But I think that that's a solvable issue. I'm pretty sure that's solvable. This has a little bit of flex to it. It may crack. I might cut it instead. I kind of like having it overlay the edge, but at any rate. And then this is the end of the rafter tail here. This is the rafter tail, whatever. And it appears that this one at least is not completely rotted. It's not in great shape, but it's not completely effed. And so I think I can get a screw far enough into that through the fascia to hold it securely. Maybe I'll put something in there to stop whatever rot's happening. But yeah, I think this is going to be doable, or this is looking less intimidating than it was, because at least I know that I don't have to do any fancy cutting to get underneath that the edge of the roofing material, because this paper is here. So that's good.